name is Bill Boles. I am the Director of Outreach for the New England Mountain Bike Association. NEMBA has 28 chapters around New England. We're currently in the Southeast Mass chapter. Massasoit State Park has some really fun, flowy single-track trails, some old Jeep roads and dirt roads that are perfect for beginners, and there's also some advanced level trails. So here you can do pretty much whatever you want. I like to tell people that I'm older than my sport, but really that's not true. When I was, 15 years old, back in the 50s, I was riding a bike on trails, so I guess that made me a mountain biker then. But the sport came into existence about 40 years ago. I've been doing it since the beginning. Mountain biking is a wonderful opportunity for people to get outdoors. It's like hiking in the woods, but you can go much farther. It's a great family sport, but mostly it's a really good way to get far enough into the woods that you can be totally away from everyone and just enjoy solitude. I got interested in mountain biking when I was a kid. I became obsessed with seeing where trails went, and I've spent my whole life trying to do that. There's always more trails, so I've always got something new to do. Mountain biking started with fatter tires, like 2.5 inches wide. They were so comfortable to ride and fun that people bought them. But then they realized that you could also ride them in the woods. So everybody started out as a beginner. I enjoy going riding with my friends. I enjoy the fact that we are a large, expanding community or association. And what I'm most proud of, over the years, our members have gone from, just going out in the woods to go for a ride, to really getting involved in the environmental community. We do a lot of trail maintenance. We do a lot of advocacy. We do a lot of whatever we can to make everybody else's outdoor experience on trails better, because at the same time, we're making ours better. I own a Specialized. It's called an Enduro. I have 2 bikes. One bike has 5-inch wide tires. That bike is really good for doing things like riding around in the snow or riding around on a beach between the high and low tide mark. I live on Cape Cod, and we do a lot of that there. But this is my favorite bike. This is a cross-country bike. 35 years ago, bikes didn't have suspension. This one has almost 7 inches on both ends, which means that when I'm riding on trails and riding over roots and rocks, I get a very smooth ride. And if you're as old as I am, you don't want a rough ride. If you have a smooth, easy, fun bike to ride, you can ride it every day of the week if you want. I like to tell newer riders, I teach mountain biking, that every mountain bike comes equipped with a hiker. And if you get to a series of rocks or roots or a steep downhill and you're uncomfortable riding that, use your hiker. Basic safety equipment would obviously be a helmet. Everybody recommends gloves. Some people wear long socks because you're protected from poison ivy. The important thing is keep in touch with your inner chicken. If you see something and you're just uncomfortable with it, don't ride it. There's a place in British Columbia called Whistler, and it used to be a ski slope. It still is in the winter, but they have extreme downhill mountain bike trails. I went there once with my girlfriend because she really wanted to take downhill mountain bike lessons, and I dressed up in complete body armor, knee pads, shoulder pads, chest pads, full face helmet, and rode down these horribly terrifying trails. That was the most intense trail I think I'd ever been on. That's atypical. That's not really mountain biking, that's downhill. Most people who've never mountain biked, they've seen commercials, or they've seen people jumping off lifts on YouTube, and that's not mountain biking. Mountain biking is going for a walk in the woods on a bike, and that's it. If you want to make it more than that, you certainly can, but the perception, I think, among people who've never mountain biked is that it's some radical sport. It's not. Yesterday, we had a kids ride. My local town's recreation department has a kids mountain bike series. We had kids from 6 years old to 14 years old. We had adults leading the kids from, I would say 30 to 75. Mountain biking is for everybody. One of the things that always sticks out in my mind, I went on a mountain bike tour on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and the views were spectacular. If you could ride, say, a 5-mile trail on the rim without stopping 10 times to just look around, your soul is dead. That was the most incredible scenic ride that I'd ever been on. What I would do, I would suggest you go to a dealer. Many dealers, especially specialized dealers, have loaner bikes. They'll loan you a bike and they'll give you some basic, this is how you shift, this is how high your saddle should be. And they'll suggest to you a good place to ride. If you've never ridden a bike, you need somebody to teach you how to ride a bike. Riding a bike off-road is just an amplification of that. I tell people who are new that there's a learning curve, that you start off down here, the next thing you know, you're up here. And you don't know how you got there, but it all comes together after a while.
My name's Dave Kirschner and I'm a mountain biker. It started with when my kids were young, we'd ride around the bogs near our house, and I had an old 10-speed that just didn't cut it anymore. So I ended up buying my first specialized, fully rigid mountain bike, and then from there I got more interested as I found trails. Always drawn into the woods because to me it's just like a follow-up of when I was a kid. I loved playing in the woods, so I like the getting out and the camaraderie of it. I ride a specialized full suspension bike. Depending on where you ride, the full suspension really helps with smoothing out the trail somewhat. It doesn't fully smooth it out, but it makes it a lot easier, especially when you get into some place that's got roots, a lot of roots or a lot of rocks. It really makes a difference. I've ridden here quite a few times. I can find my way around it. I always get a little confused, but my buddy John has been riding here for well over 20 years and used to race here, so he's really my guide here. The most intense trail I've ever ridden on would be at Blue Hills. It's a trail that kind of comes around the mountain off the ski slopes, and there's quite a few rocks on there that make it very interesting. I think there are misconceptions that some people look at it as troublemakers almost, So it's up to us out on the trail to actually be courteous. So you have somebody hiking along, get off the bike, stop, say hi to them, let them pass. Long ride my buddy and I did, it was a NEMBA Fest. I think about 22 miles we did up at Bear Brook in New Hampshire years ago. And I enjoy getting their monthly magazine that they send out, which is Single Tracks. Obviously, Bill Boles always has an article in there, so it's interesting to read on that, as well as the local chapters like Rhode Island, Southeast Mass, see what's up with them. They do a lot of trail work at the parks to advocate for, to build up better rapport with the park owners. Spend some time at the bike shop, whatever your bike shop is, and explain to them exactly what you're looking to do on the bike so they can kind of point you toward the correct bike for what you want to ride.